Matt, so how'd you end up here in Williston, North Dakota?
I actually grew up in Sidney, Montana, which is only 45 minutes away. Not a big jaunt over here to Williston. Biggest thing that brought me to Williston, however, is the job itself, the career, car audio. Like I mentioned earlier, it was just a passion for me. It was just a hobby for me. Then I turned around and my passion and hobby turned into a job opportunity. So it's definitely something you want to think about. Do you really want your hobby being your career? Because a lot of the times when you do that, your hobby then becomes no more of a hobby, it's more work.
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up over here. I talked to a lot of people in the audio industry. I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to make that jump from hobby to career, but I mean, everything about car audio excites me. Everything. I mean, between the radios, the wiring, helping customers, because in all reality, when you think about it, when it's either competing or it is in the actual car audio industry itself, everything is service work. Everything is helping each other out. Like I've said many times, this excursion itself, the DD Beast, is not just a solo deal. If it wasn't for the help of a lot of people, this wouldn't even be possible. So I ended up coming over here to work for Cartoons. I drove back and forth to Sydney for 6 months before I finally decided that it is something that I want to do for a career. And then we moved to Williston.
Well, man, since you moved here, how long have you been here in Williston?
I've been in Williston, this will be my 5th year.
All right, so you came here in 14. Okay.
Yep.
I did too, man. I did too, bro. And it's even you can say and even you can see the difference between 14 and now 14. I'll let you explain.
Yes, very much so. 2014, 2013, it was the hustle and the bustle and the busy. Everybody had more money than they knew what to do with. I mean, you were constantly seeing brand new vehicles, brand new cars, boats, razors, the whole nine. Everybody just, it was booming, it was busy. You wanted to go to Walmart, which Williston isn't very big, but you wanted to go to Walmart, you better tack on an extra half hour, 45 minutes just for standing in line.
Yeah.
And it was very crazy. Now, the biggest thing that we have gone through since then is the aspect that when oilfield companies started laying people off, and people are like, okay, now I can't spend money like I used to. We and the audio industry, we are fundamentally toys. I mean, we're not a necessity. You don't have to have a better sounding radio to go to work. You don't have to have headrest DVD players in there for your kids to watch when you guys travel, go on vacation, etc. All this stuff is just fun. It's toys.
Yeah.
And what's really cool is the aspect that Cartoons has been in the community for 25 plus years. So it is community based, community grown, and the community themselves has helped us through that same time where a lot of mom and pop stuff has closed down.
Yeah.
There really was no option other than just to close down. Our service work is above and beyond, and that's kind of what's pushed us through. We may not have everything on the floor all the time. We may not have the newest and the greatest for you to physically put in your hands and see, but we can definitely get stuff in for you guys, and we can definitely help you with the customer service aspect of it. We also do car starts. I mean, every winter, we haven't even got our first frost yet, and we're booked out a month for car starts already. It is very cool, the aspect to...
And those car starts make a difference in the wintertime.
It does, because in the summertime when you're 100 plus degrees, and then all of a sudden in the wintertime you're negative 60 with the windshield, negative 60 with the windshield, that's when you start seeing people really fast go back down south. It's almost like this is a vacation spot for them in the summertime, but once it starts getting cold, you will see a lot of people leave. We do get crazy amount of booked up for the car starts, which is awesome. But the best thing about it is it's not making the dollar. It's not making the buck. Yes, we're a business. Yes, we need to survive. But our customer service and the ability to help people and the ability to make people happy and smile. And just glad that they got the product and the service that they got from us is what does it in the end. Because I can easily turn around and tell you that your radio is bad and you need to buy a new radio. That makes me a quick dollar, yes. But in the same aspect, that doesn't make me very service dependable when I can turn around and say, oh, by the way, it was a blown fuse in the back of your radio's just fine. Have a good day. No charge at all.
Yeah.
That's what keeps us here. That's what's kept us here for the last 25 years, and that's what's going to keep us going even better yet, is the customer service aspect of everything. So that's what brought me to Williston, and that's what's keeping me here in Williston, is the aspect of my hobby turned into a career. And I love seeing the reaction out of people's face when they get into their vehicle and the stereo is a night and day difference. I mean, they had zero bass before, they had a lot of distortion when they really cranked it up, or they had just a plain Jane radio and now they have a DVD player. You know, anything that we do, the car starts even, jumping back to them. I've had people come in when it's blowing and snowing and it's, you know, -10, and they come in just to thank me. Man, I got out to my vehicle this morning and it was nice and toasty. My windows were all cleared off already. And I'm looking over at my neighbors and they're out there scraping their windows. I just had to come by and tell you thanks again. That's the type of stuff that keeps us going. It's not just car starts, it's not just car audio, it's anything and everything that we do. So that is what made me come to Williston.
Dude, appreciate that, man. Thank you for your time, bro.
Not a problem, thank you.
Do you want to give a shout out to anybody, any sponsors, anybody, any businesses, family, and friends?
Biggest thing is like I said, the DD Beast. It's not solo. Yes, you have DD Audio in there. You have SPL Cartel in there. You have originally JY Power is what we went for batteries. Now we're going to end up going with limitless batteries. I mean, everything. Everybody that's been a part of this thing, Jim's Machine Work, everything has just come together, and it's not just a solo deal. My teammates themselves, they've spent countless amount of hours on this thing. You know, there's things that I choose not to do, and there's things that they excel at. So we just kind of swap off who does what. I've got a family of 5 kids. There's just sometimes that I can't come in and do things that I'd like to do, and they pick up the slack that I leave, and they're able to get it done, and it's an awesome thing. Cartoons themselves, you know, Cartoons is not me. It's not just employees. Cartoons is a family. You know, so without my boss making Cartoons possible all those years ago, I wouldn't even be standing here anyways. So that's the biggest thing is just being humble and being able to realize that it's not me. Yes, you're climbing that mountain. Yes, you're climbing that hill, but don't forget the people that were pushing you up that hill and up that mountain on the way up there. So that's the biggest thing is just be humble, be thankful for what you got, and do not forget that. Do not forget your past is what made you now.
And something else I want to ask, kind of as a question for you to think about, because there are a lot of people out there they have hobbies, and a lot of people may not get to the point that you got to, where you were able to answer that question of how to turn a hobby into a dream career. And more than likely that'll probably be the name of the video, how I turned my hobby into a dream career. And got any advice for anybody that's thinking about doing the same thing?
Biggest thing is dedication. I mean, 100% dedication. It's no different than, you know, every once in a while we get people coming in asking, you know, will you sponsor us, stuff like that. In the audio industry, it's not like it used to be where, you know, the audio stores were the only place selling car audio. Now you have the internet, now you have Best Buy, you have Walmart, whatever, you know, everybody's selling a little bit of car audio, but dedication. I mean, if you're willing to learn and you're wanting to learn, then show it, prove it, and stick with it. Because it's one thing to do it as a hobby, and that, like I was saying earlier, I did it for a hobby for a couple years, but that was my main determining factor, is if I wanted to continue doing it for a career. Because if I did that, if I moved my family up here for this job and then turned around and decided I didn't want to make it a career anymore, then I just went backwards. So it's just the dedication, the drive, staying up on technology. I mean, Facebook is a huge thing. Facebook is a huge seller. Facebook is a huge advertisement. Comes with its good and bad, as always, but I mean, anymore when you think of your audio companies even, they're not coming to your store, they're not coming in and sending you a bunch of emails all the time. They're legitimately putting things on Facebook, and you go through on Facebook and see things. So your new product reviews, stuff like that. And Facebook can be a very useful tool on learning as well. But you also have to pay attention to who you're learning from. There are a lot of people out there that just like to blow smoke and get a rise out of people and give you the wrong information just because they can. We've all seen those lovely Facebook jokes about winter's coming, drain your oil and put in water, or whatever the case.
Or drain your antifreeze, put water in it for winter. Like, don't even say that. Like,
or the GPS trackers for your tire valves on, cut them off. I mean, so we've all seen that stuff, and it gets a good laugh, but you definitely want to make sure the people that you're learning from actually have the knowledge to back it up, so you're learning the correct things. Because in car audio, or anything in the 12-volt world, doesn't matter whether it's wiring on your BCM or your taillights or your headlights or anything. Anybody can hook a wire here and hook a wire here. Doesn't mean that it was done the correct way. So that is the biggest thing that I guess for advice that I can give is, if it's something that you're wanting to do and you're serious about doing, not a problem. Go talk to anybody that you can as far as the car audio industry. Show them that you're dedicated. If you're only coming in here to try to get cheaper products or to get me to help fix your stuff, and then I never see you again, well, then that goes to show right there you weren't very dedicated and you didn't really want to continue it as a hobby career anyways. So just the dedication.
Man, I want to say thank you. Hey man, you inspire me to